Hi, and welcome to Salento with Love. I'm Davide Mengoli, and another great episode of Palazzo Angelini. Amazing how these things is gently coming together and we see the transformation. I am sure that you're going to enjoy this episode of Palazzo Angelini, so I'll see you at the end. If you remember, on Monday we started to level inside, getting ready for a screed on the ground floor, and well, up here you have all the materials, remember, that was piled up here again, and so that's been taken out. So again, another huge load of rubble that has been removed, getting the space ready for the screed that is going to happen on this ground floor space. And once this is done, then we can tackle this ground level here. So that's happening pretty soon. It'd be nice to see this space totally screeded and ready to move to the next phase. Thank you for watching my videos, but if you haven't become a subscriber yet, press the subscribe button, leave a comment. We always appreciate your comments. Thank you. Guys are doing a great job here. We're on Palazzo Angelini, and finally we are screeding the ground floor. So there's a lot of trucks of sand. Incredible to think the amount of rubble that you pull out of a building and then somehow you reinstate more materials in. So anyway, let's wait for them to finish. But probably you remember yesterday when I came by and I showed that we got the permission to disrupt the traffic. Very important to do this, because if one of these guys behind us now complains or calls the local police, well, you've got the permit in place. So very important to work in that way, very organized way. Buongiorno. doing a concrete floor is not just mixing sand and cement. First of all, it's making sure that your levels are straight, but also using all the right additives, the right cement, because there's different types of cement, different type of sand, and then the right additives really that allow you to have a very compact and that it doesn't crack very easily. Some of the elements that I've showed you do exactly that. The fiber that gets thrown in, this fluid that makes it harder and a little bit more elastic. So very important. It's not just sand and cement. Wow, it's been very intense. I think it was very intense for this last year to work with a floor that was all broken up, but still the plumbing, the electrics, everything needed to be done. Sometimes people make the mistake of trying to rush and do things halfway, but this way now you've got a nice solid concrete floor, which in some places is more than 10-12 centimeters thick. Gives you a very substrate insulation with a plastic shield underneath, and then wherever material you decide to tile over the top. So it's been a very, very intense. Now the next phase of this particular project would be to remove those horrible concrete tiles that were probably fitted in the 70s and 80s here on this ground floor, reduce the level down, and then do exactly the same that we've done on the inside, and then getting it ready to be paved with a beautiful natural stone. So once that is done, really, I would like to think that the whole of the ground, the whole of the downstairs floor, it's done and it's finished for maybe decades and maybe hundreds of years ahead. Oh, are you still there? That means that you are enjoying our videos. Thank you very much for following the channel. Did you know that every Friday we issue a video called Thank God It's Friday, and you can see it if you join our membership? Do that, and I'll see you every Friday. I think sometimes it doesn't matter how much planning you do. Sometimes some elements of the work can turn out to be a lot more complex than what you've anticipated. That's exactly what's happened this morning here. We thought that it was going to be a very simple removing of the old tiles, but instead it's actually turned out to be a job of about 6-7 people. Been here since 6:30 this morning just to take the original, well actually not the original because it's a concrete floor, but the old tiles that were there, and then digging a little deeper because the screed that needs to go at the bottom needs to be thick enough really to give that solid base, and then to allow for the new tiling to happen. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. A couple of critical areas, and really I would say there are stages of a project which are very delicate and they could compromise an entire functionality of a property. Well, a couple of things. The downstairs courtyard was definitely one of them, and is now looking amazing, and once it gets tiled with a natural stone it will look absolutely extraordinary. But also this kitchen here, venturing I would say onto the outside, that's such an incredible bonus. I mean, having a first floor with a courtyard level with your kitchen just enhances your quality of living by so many levels. So this now, it's been leveled and screeded to have a slant that takes the water right to the front. Then just before to finish that off, we'll put a trough in the back there, which will collect all the water and discharging it straight into where it needs, the rainwater needs to go. But we're a fantastic position to be, to have a level or almost level with your living space. I think this is a very luxurious add-on to a living space. Let's go and see what's happening downstairs. Again, very complex work. First of all, because you need to remove tons of rubble, and also in doing so you really need to be careful not to damage perhaps plumbing or electrics that will installed prior to this process. And then also having the levels that work absolutely correct for the drainage of the water and for the material that is going to be applied on top. In this particular case, we had the stairs going up that were actually controlling everything. So it was very important really to make sure that it all stayed. And also, if you do decide to drive even with a small car in here, you want to make sure that the base is strong enough to accommodate that and to have a solid base. So you can see the level of cement that is getting applied. So it's not just a matter of doing a little screed, making things look level or giving the right inclination. It's about doing things right. If you look at the amount that has been dug here to allow that to happen. Yesterday was a very hard day for these guys. Wow. We took a day off yesterday. We didn't come by after this guy's finished. Closed the door behind me. Amazing to see this finish. Extraordinary. Wow. Hard work yesterday and a couple of days before that. Really, really intense. But the end result, it's an amazing finish. And most of all, an amazing finish that has now left us with a beautiful, flat and cleaned area. I'm sure you have enjoyed this incredible episode full of so many things. It's amazing to see how a property can really be transformed and can be brought into the 21st century. And it's happening with the hands and the skills of a lot of incredible craftsmen. Well, until the next episode, make sure you do the most important thing, which is stay safe wherever you are.